Kia ora team, and welcome to Big Boys Boxing, where we're all about exactly that. The big boys. With big knockouts. And the big fights. So let's get into this.
What's going on, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. For the first time in a while, there's been a bit happening. I haven't been active, but to be fair, I've just got my PC back after a big reco. I've been limping along on a laptop, so it is what it is. But now we back. So hopefully all my audio is coming through alright. Need to make a few adjustments. And as per usual, let me go and jump into the voice channel and post a link for anybody who may like to join. Boom, there's a link. And let me pin that to the top so we don't lose this shizzle. There we go. All set. Alright, so yeah, like I say, there's been a bit happening. These Saudis has certainly changed the landscape of the heavyweight division with getting these top fighters to fight each other. And we've had a few surprises. Like, I'm pretty surprised that Joseph Parker's turned this new leaf. He's turned into, how would I put this? He seems to be the guy who makes heavy punches put their hands away. If we go way back to 6 years ago when he fought Anthony Joshua, he didn't sit on a lot of punches. Yeah, Joe lost that fight, and I think many people get, when a fighter loses after a bit of time, they think, hey, he got dominated, but he didn't get dominated. If you go back and watch that fight, it was reasonably close. However, we all know the referee, Giuseppe Cortalone, wrecked that fight, didn't he? And Joe Parker, as a champion, never got a rematch. It's probably a good thing at the time. He stepped straight into a Dillian White fight after that and got beaten with some controversy as well. Anthony Joshua had his couple of losses against Alexander Usyk, the top man of the division in my opinion. But he's slowly made his way back. To be fair, he hasn't fought any top opposition since Alexander Usyk. You could argue Otto Wallen. He's definitely at the time he was definitely a top 10. I'd give him that, but not a solid top 10. He might even be realistically only a top 15 fighter, but was what it was, and he's come back beating unbeaten Jermaine Franklin as well, who in my opinion should have a loss on his record. Jermaine Franklin, possibly two, but anyways, he's got one now, and then he fought Robert Helenius, and now he fought Francis Ngannou, so he's on his way back up as well. We've got some other fighters showing their faces as well. We hadn't seen much of Ajit Kabial over the years, fighting once a year against low-level opposition, but then he steps in against, what do you call him? Makhmudov. He's like a grizzly bear. Stepped in there and beat the living snot out of him and stopped him. We saw Frank Sanchez getting there with Junior Farr. Not exactly the highest level, but seems to be the thing for PBC fighters. But we're now going to see Frank Sanchez and Ajit Cabial get it on. I think they're going to be on the Fury Usyk undercard, so that's going to be a good fight. That'll change some landscape as well. I see Frank Sanchez is still currently ranked number 2 in the WBC. I don't know what he's done to earn a number 2 spot. I guess Aslanbek Makhmudov was ranked fairly highly with the WBC. And we know the WBC tend to like PBC fighters a lot for some reason. I'm not sure why. It is what it is. So, yeah, we are kicking along. So, I just found something on IFL interview that I think I might share with you guys. I did have it ready to play. I messed it up. Here it is. Alright, so Joseph Parker being on the run of form he's on, he's now the WBO interim champion, taking that title off Zhilei Zhang. There is a contracted rematch between the two. However, I have heard some people saying that Frank Warren was speaking to Joseph Parker after the final press conference, the post-fight press conference, and he was saying that Joe will find you a better fight than the rematch with Zhilei Zhang. I don't know how Frank plans to get around a contracted rematch that I do expect Zhilei Zhang to take, unless he's going to give Zhilei Zhang some kind of big payout for a step aside. But I imagine Frank Warren wants to get one of his boys in Daniel Dubois or Joe Joyce in the ring with Joe Parker. In saying this, I don't know if Parker doesn't have to fight the rematch, if Zhilei Zhang doesn't take it for whatever reason. I could see him possibly fighting a Daniel Dubois, but I don't know if he'd bother with Joe Joyce right now, after he's been Sparko twice and now he's fighting a nobody in Cash Ali as a comeback. He's going to have to do better than that before he earns another shot at the WBO interim title. However, we'll just see what happens. I do expect Zhilei Zhang to activate the rematch. In all reality, I think Zhilei Zhang's last hurrah is probably going to be this rematch. If he can't get this rematch, I expect he'll probably retire. He is almost 41 years old, I believe. Let me just have a quick check on that, actually. Let's see when his birthday is. I think it's in September or something, but I'll find out. How do we spell it? Zhilei. Zhilei Zhang. He may even be 41 by the time of the rematch coming around. Let me find his age if they've got it up here. Age, alias, age. He's 40. When his birthday? He's got the height, residence, birthplace. Oh, for God's sake, have they not got his date of birth here? Birthplace. He's in China. Hasn't got his birthday on here. That's odd. Why would you have his birthplace and his age, but no freaking birthday? Oh, down this other side. Division, rating, belts, rounds, KOs, career debut. No, man, we haven't got his birthday. I could look it up, but I'm not going to bother for now. He's on the way to 41 anyway. I believe. Was it the first or the second fight? He was a week short of 40. So with Joe Joyce, so he's on the way to 41 this year anyway. And yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, Joseph Parker's position. he is effectively the mandatory for Alexander Usyk's WBO title, being the interim champion. And, you know, many people over the years have said Joseph Parker won't fight Tyson Fury. And that's not a fact. It's Tyson Fury who said that he won't fight Joe Parker, and Joe's just got along with it. Alright? So, he was interviewed by Kugan Cassius on IFL TV, shout out to them. And he said this, so listen in.
So you did win the interim title there. You're now mandatory for Usyk's WBO belt. I mean, we could see a really funny situation arising after May 18th. We know Tyson and Usyk have got to face each other twice. If there is a situation where the WBO belt does belong to Tyson Fury, do you know, I know we've joked about this and you've kind of said, but do you know what you'll do?
I feel like if it's when Tyson wins the fight with Usyk, and I'm in a position to fight for the WBO world title, if it was going to make a massive change to my life and my family, we'll do it. I reckon he'll be like, okay, let's do it, so we can look after both of us for the rest of our lives.
You want to be world champion again, though?
I do want to be world champion, and I want to fight the best, and I believe Tyson is the best.
So if it's Tyson, so be it.
If it's Tyson, then we'll have a quick word and see where we end up. We'll see.
I'm not going to say too much.
Without Tyson, I wouldn't have been with Andy Lee. I wouldn't have been with George Lockhart. I wouldn't have had the team that I have. So I'm very grateful to be able to cross paths with him and become like a close brother. And he's done a lot for me. So all I can say is thanks to him.
Back-to-back wins against Wilder and Zhang. I mean, you've had a good few months here.
It's great to be back. It's great to be back, and there's more to come.
Joseph Parker, thank you very much for your time. God bless, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
So there you go. Joseph Parker is willing to fight Tyson Fury. It's down to Tyson, is what it is. So let's see what happens, man, because Joseph Parker will fight anybody. He's proven that. He's damn near got one of the best resumes in heavyweight boxing at the moment. You know, he's fought way more top guys than Tyson Fury. He's fought more top guys than Alexander Usyk. He's fought, well, Joshua, maybe. We could look at it, you know. Joshua's got Parker on his resume, even though it's 6 odd years ago and a unification. He's got Vladimir Klitschko, he's got Alexander Povetkin, Carlos Takam, Dillian White, Alexander Usyk. Those would be the top guys he's fought. Joseph Parker's got also Carlos Takam. He's got a win over Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua's also got Andy Ruiz, 1 loss and 1 win. He's got Joseph Parker's also got Hughie Fury, who at the time was #1 mandatory with the WBO and unbeaten at the time. He's also got a loss to Anthony Joshua. He's got that loss to Dillian White, controversial. He's got that loss to Joe Joyce as well, in a fight where he was way overweight. Apparently he had a chest infection and couldn't train properly, and he gassed out. He did win some rounds against Joe Joyce as well. You know, people say he got absolutely demolished. I disagree with that too. I reckon he got maybe 4 rounds, 3 or 4 rounds out of that fight, and he did get stopped. He didn't get sparkoed like many people think. You know, they saw the big left hook and Joe go down, and the way his head bounced on the canvas and whatnot, and then they look away. They forget that he was on his feet when the referee said 10, but it was waved off anyway. And that was the turning point for Joe Parker was after Jack Massey. He had that comeback win, looked unimpressive, but it was after that Jack Massey fight he got involved with George Lockhart as a nutritionist and conditioning coach. And I saw it straight away when he went down to Australia and fought Fainga Apilu, who isn't the greatest fighter, but he can bang. He smashed over Hemia in 5 rounds, even though Hemia had COVID for that fight. But Joe blitzed him out of there in 1 round, and if you go and look at that fight, he looked in so much better condition. He was a bit lighter, but you could see the movement, the speed, everything seemed to be a lot better there. Of course, not many people have seen that fight. It is available on YouTube, and it's only about 2 minutes long or something. Then he got in there with Simon King. Looked pretty good, as he should have, because Simon King was a walking knockout waiting to happen. But then he beats the apparently most devastating puncher in boxing, who didn't do a lot. But like I said at the start of the stream, Joseph Parker has the skills to make heavy hitters put their hands away. So I think you've got to put a lot of credit in that perspective, particularly after this fight with Zhili Zhang, because he did the same goddamn thing. He made the heavy puncher put his hands away. The speed, the elusiveness, just made it too hard for Zhang to land big punches on him consistently. Yeah, he did drop him twice. But Joe, being the warrior he is, got up. I mean, that 3rd round, he was winning that 3rd round until he got that straight left down the pipe. He just didn't see it coming. The hand speed of Zhili Zhang is quite deceptive from a big man, especially looking how flabby and fat he was looking at 291 pounds in that fight. But then he survived well and was still competitive for the rest of the round, and then came out and wins the next 3 rounds easy. Then he got caught with a shot behind the head, that right hook, and he got up and then won the rest of the round again, even though it was a 10-8 round. This dude, I thought 247 was going to be slightly heavy, but he looks in so much better shape with George Lockhart controlling his diet and his conditioning. It's amazing the transformation he's had. There's traits you can liken to Alexander Usyk with Joseph Parker at the moment, isn't there? He gets in and out, gets his shots off. He's quite elusive, getting low, moving his head quite a bit, jumping in, getting his combinations off and getting out. So I think Joseph Parker in this state causes trouble for goddamn anybody in the heavyweight division. So we'll see what happens down the track. But yeah, looking at BoxRec, they've got Joseph Parker as the number 3 heavyweight in the world at the moment. Let me bring it up. Let's have a look here. Am I on the right one? No, I'm on the wrong one. Let me get back on it. Get this back over here. There we go. The official rankings haven't changed yet. Obviously, they only change every month, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with rankings. Actually, Joseph Parker will no longer be in any other governing body except the WBO because he's interim champion, so he won't be ranked. Let's bring up BoxRec as well. What we got here? We want ratings. What's changed here? Something's changed here. What the? Oh, there we go. It's right at the front. Okay, let me get this browser up for y'all to have a look at. Not back soon. We want. Where's my browser? There. This one here. Well, that's not the one I wanted. It's showing the wrong shizzle, man, nizzle. It's the wrong one. I'll leave that one there. We'll change this one. Ratings. So check it out. This has been updated. We want heavyweight, don't we? Not pound for pound. Heavyweight. Submit. Alright, so we've got Alexander Usyk as the number 1. We've got Anthony Joshua as number 2. That's interesting. We've got Joseph Parker as number 3. And Tyson Fury as number 4. Daniel Dubois 5. Edric Cabial 6. Zhili Zhang 7. Joe Joyce 8. Otto Wallen 9. Murat Gassiev 10. F.A. Ajogo 11. Jared Anderson 12. Justice Hooney 13. Philip Hrgovic 14. That's interesting. Kevin Lorena is 15. Luis Ortiz is 16. And that's enough. So we know how this works on algorithms and whatnot. Belts don't matter with this shizzle. And I suspect that's why Tyson Fury is down at number 4. The level of his opposition, now that Joseph Parker has shown what a fraud Deontay Wilder is, the rest of his opposition is pretty shite until you go all the way back to Vladimir Klitschko. So the algorithm and the point system has made it look a little bit different. We have Tightly in the house. How you going, man?
Yeah, it's Mark. How's things, lad?
Oh, it's Mark. Oh, long time no see, bro. Good to have you in.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Still watching a bit of boxing, I imagine. Just not YouTubing much.
Yeah, no, I'm still watching.
Good, man. How have you enjoying these big Saudi cards at the moment?
They're intriguing. Well, I mean, look, it's where everything is kind of gonna have to be at the moment because marquee fights need to happen, and some of them are gonna get delivered here, I suppose.
Yeah, man. Those big bucks make all the difference, eh? It's amazing
Yeah.
how keen fighters get when they see those dollar signs.
And as soon as you see that cash, you know, it's getting all up in them, you know.
Yeah, man. All right, so kind of just talking about the landscape of the division at the moment because things have changed with these big fights happening. I was just looking at the BoxRec ratings because none of the governing bodies have been updated yet, and that's to be expected. But how would you place your top 5 heavyweights at the moment?
Usyk, AJ, Fury. AJ and Fury is interchangeable because I just don't know what Fury is anymore. But
Agreed.
for sake of argument, he's a champion. And then 4, Joseph Parker. And then 5 is really up in the air, but I'm not even trying to be funny. 5 really is up in the air. It's really hard to answer that, like, conclusively.
I agree. Like, it could be Daniel Dubois, it could be Philip Hrgovic, It could be Frank Sanchez. Even, you know, there's a few that could fit into that slot.
I mean, it could be Zhili Zhang, right? Even though he lost to Parker.
Yep. Could even be Martin Bacoli. Christ.
Yeah. It could be. It's really weird. But just for the sake of the debate, I'll sit safe and I'll just say Hrgovic because he's unbeaten and holds a W also over Zhili.
True that. Yes, true that. So, very interesting. What did you think of Anthony Joshua's knockout against Francis Ngannou?
You know, I was talking with a mate of mine, right? And I hate doing this type of shit. But I thought it was to be expected. I thought anyone with a brain cell knew that Tyson Fury and Ngannou was fixed. Like, carried. Fury carried the fuck out of the fight. There was about 150 times during the fight, Jono, and if you just rewatch it, you'll see where Ngannou's lead hand is dropped down, his stance is wide, and Fury can just smack him with a straight right and doesn't, just like Joshua did. So, I don't know. There's no way Tyson Fury didn't see it if I was able to see it in, like, real time, you know?
Yeah.
There's no way he didn't see that hole. So I just feel as though he carried him. So I expected Joshua to knock the fuck out of Ngannou. Kind of. I really did anyway. Because Joshua's not going to play around with a dude because he knows he's too vulnerable to mess about. And it's never been Joshua's game to play games in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He loves to try and dictate, and if he can't, it's not good for him. So I just felt like it was a highway to battery for Ngannou, and it was. He got absolutely fucking poleaxed. That last shot was unnecessary, though, man. That shit was unnecessary. He knew how hurt he was. Did you see how much torque that fucker put on there? He literally shuffled his whole body weight through the damn thing.
Yeah, man, it was almost cruel. You know, it's like putting a sick animal down. It was not well. It was fun to watch, but I don't know about pretty. You know, we're boxing fans. We want to see blood and guts, and we want to see people get smashed over. But that was like when he was on the ground. I was like, shit. I hope he's alive. You know. But like you say, I agree. He was supposed to do that, and you know, it was a lot of people were saying beforehand, if he does stop Ngannou, everyone's going to say he was supposed to do that, so he's not going to get much credit. Joshua knew this when he even took the fight, so it was a money grab, and he did what he's supposed to do. Now he can move on. I think he'll probably target Filip Hrgovic next, but I don't imagine we'll see much of Francis Ngannou in boxing for the next little while. I expect him to go back to MMA, but he could still come back and fight gatekeepers and be competitive and still make a lot more money than he'd make in MMA. So we might see him back at some point, but Joshua moves on.
All right.
There you go.
I want to see him fight Derek Chisora.
Ooh.
I want to see it.
That's a nice matchup.
Derek's a big fucking come forward idiot. He's gonna let Ngannou hit him.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Might see the poleaxe return the other way. That'll be awesome. Yeah, so I expect Hrgovic and Joshua. I expect Zhili Zhang to activate his rematch clause, maybe lose a bit of weight and be a bit better prepared. And shit, I still got the wrong thing up on the screen. No, I don't. We're good. We've got a couple of other decent fights being made. Frank Sanchez and Ajit Kabiel's allegedly going to be on the Fury Usyk undercard, so I like that fight.
That's for the purists.
Definitely. Many people will say it was boring, kind of like many are saying that Parker Zhang was boring, but I was on the edge of my seat for that fight, especially after that first knockdown, so I didn't see that as boring myself, and I think I didn't... Where you go?
You had a punch factor in that fight, John. You had a punch factor. You had a damaging factor. With Sanchez and Kabayel, you don't really have that. I know Kabayel starts Makhmedov, but Makhmedov was never known to have a good chin, even in the amateurs.
Indeed.
I don't know, man.
Junior Farr beat him, for God's sake, in the amateurs. You know?
That's actually really fucking stark when you put it into perspective, isn't it?
Indeed. Yeah, he was kind of almost a walking knockout waiting to happen. The way he fought, yeah, he's big and strong, but he was so clumsy and cumbersome. Anybody with some speed and some straight punches wouldn't even have to hit him that hard, and that proved to be the point. Apparently he broke his arm, and I heard some people complaining about short notice for Aslanbek Makhmudov, but he fought on the previous Saudi card as well, didn't he? Aslanbek Makhmudov. So
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah.
Yeah, so there's not really any excuse for that. I'm not sure who I'm going to pick for the Sanchez and Cabiel fight. I'll probably go with Cabiel, but one flash in the pan against Makhmudov in 4 or 5 years, it's going to be a different kettle of fish against Frank Sanchez. But I've also in the past mentioned that oh shit, my alcohol. How do I turn this off? Excuse me for a second. Just trying to turn this alarm off. I've got my still running. I've got to go and take the methanol off the top so I don't go blind. Right. You can still hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, lad.
Oh yeah, sweet. Alright, I'll be back in just a minute if you want to give your opinion about the Sanchez and Cabiel fight while I just go and change this alcohol over. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, sure. So, from a personal perspective, I just think Cabiel doesn't have enough aggression. Sanchez is going to sit back. Cabiel, if he's coming forward with those very crude overhand rights, Sanchez will be able to pick him off. I expect a lot of back-footed movement from Sanchez when Cabiel tries to initiate any offense. Just full extension on the jab. Taking those straight shots when he sees fit, just continuously turning. I expect him to continue with that decent guard that he keeps in place when people do get into the mid against him. And I expect him to pick him off in a kind of stall where sometimes he might have to engage Cabiel when Cabiel just gets countered a bit too easily. It's going to be Cabiel leading on the offense and being counted by Sanchez for much of the fight, and I kind of see it, if it's a 12 round, there being a 9-3, 10-2 affair. Kind of thing. I don't know exactly. I wonder how other people would probably gauge it. I don't have a lot of time left for Cabiel anymore anyway. As I said, him getting the win over Makhmudov, Makhmudov was kind of vastly overrated to many people because he was a novelty. Big Fulmerton powerhouse with strength, looking to absolutely brutalize and barnacle people. But that's just not reality. It's just not. Sanchez 10-2, 9-3. I
am back.
Welcome back, John.
So you reckon Sanchez is going to get it? Yep.
9-3, 10-2 kind of deal, yeah. I just see him. I don't see him if he's leading against Cabiel, it gives Cabiel a bit more of a chance. The problem is his foot speed and the way he engages. He's always partially defensive, and it doesn't give a whole lot of room for movement or engaging for Cabiel. So Cabiel will have to press the issue a bit more, and when he presses the action, whilst he can crack when he lets his hands go completely, Sanchez is the best defensive fighter he's ever fought against. Cabiel's not as accurate as you might think, especially when he fights people who get their head off the line, not Makhmudov, right? He tends to struggle with that, and I just feel like this is just a prime Sanchez versus a faded, inactive Cabiel.
Interesting. Yeah, see, I was actually picking Makhmudov to win that fight, but that was based on the lack of activity, and I didn't know what Cabiel had left, but he looked pretty much like the Cabiel that fought Chisora in I can't remember where it was. Not Morocco.
Germany.
Sorry?
Was it in Germany?
No. It was
Monaco.
That's it. Monaco. It was in Monaco. But yeah, the point that you were talking about, if Cabiel has to go to Sanchez, then I'd be picking Sanchez to win, because I think Sanchez offense isn't very good at all. It depends whether Cabiel's going to try and make Sanchez come to him, or is he going to try and press the action. I guess if he can get a couple of shots off and land early in the round, then he can back off and try and make Sanchez come to him because he's ahead in the round. But I don't know, man. If Sanchez is aggressive, I'd be picking Cabiel. But if he's defensive, like you say, he's one of the best defensive fighters around, Cabiel's going to have some real trouble. However, Cabiel does seem to have a hell of a lot more speed, and I don't know about better feet, but quicker feet than Sanchez as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's an intriguing fight. Like you say, probably one for the purists. Many people will get bored with watching it if it gets too cagey.
Do you know what? I think Sanchez's feet, he has better foot placement. And whilst Cabiel's feet are better, like in terms of speed, going backwards, they're not better on circles, like in terms of Sanchez is quicker on semicircles than Cabiel for footwork.
Yeah, man. I can agree with that for sure.
That should be interesting.
I don't think we've got any other big fights besides, I guess we better get your opinion since we haven't had it on Fury versus Usyk. Hit it, man.
Fury's too much of an enigma to know what he is, right? He's just so enigmatic. That's just I'm being very genuine with that. I don't know what Fury is. I don't know if Wilder was always shit. I don't know. I haven't seen Fury really look super impressive since he returned. I'm going with Usyk to absolutely fucking annihilate him. Like, humiliate him. I think he's going to humiliate him.
Yeah, that's the word. I'm in a similar boat. It's really hard to know what Tyson Fury is. He hasn't shown... We haven't seen kind of the best of Tyson Fury in a while, and like you say, we didn't know what Wilder was at the time. I certainly think he's a different fighter after those three, or both of them are different fighters after those three brutal matches. So what's left? I don't think he's got enough in his legs, particularly to deal with the movement of Alexander Usyk. However, he's got that long-ass reach. He could possibly try and play keep away, but I don't know if his hands are quick enough to stop Usyk coming in. So I'm probably picking Usyk by a late stoppage. I don't know about whether he'll actually get it or not, but I think that word humiliation, he's going to get humiliated, I think is the right term. He really didn't want this fight, but those dollar signs kind of made him take it, and he's changed his tune about calling him a blown-up middleweight, and he's moved to what is it, gappy tooth, ugly, verbal sparring, but none of it's doing anything to Usyk. He's that professional and focused. It's part of the game, and
that's not Usyk's deal. Usyk's deal is fighting and trying to win championships. He doesn't give a fuck about what people say about him. He's always been a weird guy. So he owns who he is.
Yep. He's said it all through his career as well. He's a legacy fighter. He wants to do this and wants to do that, but he's never mentioned money. He's never half of his purse or a third of his purse he donates to the Ukraine war every bloody time. So it's never about money. It's always about legacy with Usyk, and we can't ask for anything more as fans. So besides, all we could ask for is for him to hit a bit harder, I guess.
I guess so, but I mean, like, as fans, like, he's the man entered the Olympics, won the Olympics, came into the professional game after a few fights, became a world champion, right? Entered the tournament, became undisputed, defended the title on foreign soil, moved up, right? Fought against a unified heavyweight champion, beat him, defends against him, beats him, fights against another top 10 heavyweight, I suppose. Beats the fuck out of, well, not beats the fuck, beats him. I'm not going to say beats the fuck out of him. So that was an interesting fight. And now he's looking to fight against the other best heavyweight in the world. That's all you can ask from any champion.
Yep. That's right. We just got to sit back, pay our pay-per-views and enjoy it.
Fight the best fighters. And he's kind of done that throughout his career. From Bradis to Gassiev, all the way through, from Marco Huck all the way up to Anthony Joshua twice. I mean, his career is set. He's a guaranteed future Hall of Famer, whether certain people like that or not. He's a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer from his era.
Yep.
And if he goes undisputed in this division, it's like a foregone conclusion.
He'll be right up there with some ATGs if he gets undisputed up here, won't he?
Oh, he'd be one of two fighters in the history of the sport to go undisputed at cruiserweight and heavyweight.
Yeah.
He'd be the only one to do it in the four belt era. And he'd be the only one to do it without ever having a professional fight on his home soil.
Has he not fought one professional fight in Ukraine? I thought maybe one of his first early ones.
I don't think so.
Holy McMoley. I'm just going to have a quick look. I'm going to have a quick look.
I could be wrong on that. Pretty sure he hasn't fought in the Ukraine, no?
You might be right, though, I think. Here we go. Box rec. Where are we? Douche. Alright. Go right down the bottom. First and second fights were in Ukraine, and his fourth fight was in Ukraine. And fifth, actually. Oh, and sixth. That's it, though.
Okay, so he has fought. He's never fought a world title fight in the Ukraine. That's what I meant. Yeah,
his last fight in Ukraine, the guy's name was Danny Venter. Don't know who the hell he is. He was 19-6 at the time. But
yeah, I'm just saying, like, he'd be the only undisputed cruiserweight and heavyweight champion to never have a world title fight on home soil.
Yeah. Yeah. He'd also, if he does do it against Fury, he'd be got to undisputed in those two weight divisions quicker than Holyfield as well. So, yeah, it's a hell of an achievement. Hell of an achievement. So let's just enjoy it while it lasts, because he's 36 or 37. He's only got a few more years left, and
he might only have the Fury fight left.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. Yeah, he's been in there.
When he'd be the first undisputed heavyweight champion in 25 years.
That's the truth. Yeah, since Lennox Lewis in '99.
Yeah.
So
November.
That's massive. Massive. All right. I better look into the schedule. I haven't even looked at the schedule for this week. Is there any other fights you'd like to talk about that have happened on these cards that... there's one coming up. Bivol versus Beterbiev. What's going to happen, man?
I think this goes back to when we first actually spoke. I mean, we're talking about different weight divisions other than heavyweight. And you were asking me about my favorite fighters, and at the time I was mentioning two prospects. I really like Arthur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol.
Yeah. This is going back to what, 2015 or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I called it.
Damn right you did.
It's one of the right. So I don't like saying it on your channel because you're a heavyweight channel, right? But for me, this is the best fight in the sport. It's the best fight in the sport. I feel like their paths were always supposed to align with each other, and I felt like it should have been 2 years ago. But with all that, I'm going to say, without going too into it, Beterbiev's going to fuck him up. Late. Bivol's going to look good very early, but Beterbiev will start landing clean shots. And he will start to whittle down Bivol. And Bivol, one weakness in Bivol's artillery that'll show is that Beterbiev's power is probably stronger than his chin. And it'll accumulate and it'll hurt him and he'll be gripping. And Beterbiev will get nasty. And we'll slowly whittle him down. And by the last 2-3 rounds of the fight, you'll get him out there. Maybe rounds 10, 11. But
Yeah.
he'll be down on the scorecard. And if he doesn't get him out of there, he probably fight A4. Yeah, 7-5. But he'll win the majority of the late rounds. Bivol will probably be up 6-0 after the 4-6 rounds. But from 6 rounds onwards, Beterbiev's pressure is still going to be coming at Bivol. It's not going to be slowing down. And whilst Bivol is so good and fluid, picking the right shots, Beterbiev is so brilliant getting you into positions for him to land. And Bivol, throughout his career, has always been in positions where people can land on him, but they just don't know how to punish him. And Beterbiev's the best punisher in the sport, for me. If he gets you into a position, he's going to punish you for that. So, I think it's just a beautiful fight. Can go either way. If you're picking Bivol, fair play to you, you're probably right. If you're picking Beterbiev, you're probably right. You can't really go wrong. It's the true epitome of a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, man, it's a real tough fight to pick. Like you say, Beterbiev's power is definitely going to be a decider. But for me, it's Bivol's volume with the jab and judge of distance. Can he keep that distance and, keep Beterbiev off him? Beterbiev can box as well. People seem to forget that. It's a real hard pick. I'd like to pick Bivol because I think he has the better over. If he had a bit more power, I'd be a bit more confident. But definitely, Beterbiev's power is nothing to be scoffed at. And if he can get to Bivol and hurt him, I'm confident that Beterbiev can finish the job. So it's a real tough one. It's Beterbiev by stoppage or Bivol on points. I'm going to have to wait till it's closer to it. I actually watched the Canelo v Bivol fight again last night just to get some reference. I don't think that tippy-tappy crap against the smaller man is going to work against Bivol against Beterbiev because they're pretty similar size, aren't they? Maybe Bivol's slightly bigger. But he's definitely thicker in the body, and that's where a lot of the power comes from, in the legs.
He won't even attempt that bollocks. I'll be honest with you. That type of stuff he's not going to attempt. He's going to be moving and jabbing. And when Beterbiev does get in, he's going to be throwing 1, 2s, and 3s.
So we're singing, he's a runner, he's a track star.
Yeah, bro.
You got to do what you got to do if you want to win. And Bivol's definitely got the boxing IQ to do what he needs to do, and if that includes running, well, so be it. He's still going to have to get some shots in to win rounds at the same time. He could possibly do it, but
it's a fantastic fight, John.
It is.
Fantastic fight.
I think I'll probably have to agree with you that it is the best fight in boxing, even though I'm a heavyweight channel. Yeah, I can't think of a fight that tops that's made or on the horizon right now. So, big ups to both of them. I'm glad they finally got it made. It's funny how Mauricio Suleiman's willing to sanction the fight now, but I think I've mentioned it recently. If you go and look at BoxRec, Dmitry Bivol's residence is in America at the moment, so that's probably what's got him sanctionable by the WBC.
No, I just think the fact that this fight's actually worth money now is the reason why.
Well, there's that too. If it wasn't for the Saudis, where else would it be big? You know, they're not going to stage any fights in Russia. Well, nobody will sanction any fights in Russia. They're not going to. There's no real value in it in America. There's not any real value anywhere besides on the Saudis' bill. So big ups to Prince Turkey Milkshake for getting another big fight made. Looking forward to it. I don't know if there's anything decent on that undercard, but we'll get to that when it's closer to it. It's in June or something, isn't it? So we'll see. What else have we got? What did you think about the Nick Ball and Ray Vargas fight? Did Nick Ball get ripped off or not?
I thought it was really close. I had Ball, but it was close. I'm not gonna scream ripped off. Ripped off.
Yeah, well, I think if you break it down with the 2 knockdowns and Vargas winning probably 6 rounds clearly, it makes it close to a draw. You can't call it a robbery, but yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think Nick Ball actually did win the fight, but let's run it back and see if there's a different referee who doesn't let Nick Ball get away with how much dirty shit he put in there. Then Nick Ball could be in trouble. But he needs to go to the body a lot earlier to slow the runner down. He didn't do it much in the first 6 rounds, so he's got some improvements to make. Hopefully the governing bodies will make them run it back, as they should do with any title fight that comes up as a draw, I think. So we'll see what happens with that. I got my first look at this Andre Navorsky. He was earlier on the card against Juan Torres. He looks okay. What did you think of him? Did you see him?
My sentiments, John, I would probably be in around the same as yourself. He looks alright. You know? Need to see a bit more.
Yeah.
Need to definitely see more. I've always held the same thing on people where you only get bits and pieces, little smidgens of what they do. It's too little to properly go in depth, and I'll probably be overanalyzing at that stage.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
That's why I say he just looks okay, and like you say, all the comments you hear from other people doesn't really mean shit until you see it yourself. So get a bit more footage on the dude and we'll see where he goes. But the Saudis got him in, so I imagine they've got plans for him. We'll see what happens. Alright. Any other subjects you want to touch on, Mark?
No, I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
All good. Right, I'll try and bring up a schedule. I was going to see if I can find what's going on. I don't know what's on this weekend. I haven't even looked at it. I don't even bother till Thursday or Friday usually.
Same.
But, unless it's something big. But I'm pretty sure there's nothing big. Schedule. Won't bother separating weights. That's Monday, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go down to the weekend. Tuesday in Poland. Wednesday in Australia. Who's that? Oh, it's televised. Isaac Hardman is on the card. Sam Goodman and how do we say that one? Mark Shilbley? Oh fuck, I don't know. Don't know the dude. It's 13-2. So there's one to watch midweek in Australia. Just have a quick nosy through it. I was hoping I might see Joseph Goodall back in action again one of these days, but doesn't look like he's on there. No. Oh, Mark dropped off. Thank you very much for dropping in, Mark. Appreciate it, man. It's good to hear you. Haven't heard from you in a while. What else we got here? Thursday. We got another one on Friday in Aussie. Jackson Griffiths. It's non-televised. What else we got here? Friday in Cuba. No, it's Puerto Rico. Get those flags mixed up quite a bit. Carlton, Ireland on Saturday. Friday in Japan. Hiroki Hiroisa. Don't know that dude. Not televised anyway. Friday in Mexico. Come on. Gotta scroll a long way to get to Saturday. Friday in the States, not televised. Michael Bellatier. Friday. Right. I just scroll through until I see televised then. There we go. Friday. USA UFC Fight Pass. We have Callum Walsh is taking on Duran Yelesinov. Don't know who the dude is. 11-3. That's at Super Welter. We've got any heavies? Yes, we do. We've got a heavyweight fight here, televised. Giovanni Scuderi, I guess his name is. He's 9-0. He's taking on Brandon Carmack. Don't know that dude. 7-3 with 2 draws. Sounds like a tricky prick. He's got 2 draws on there. Could be worth a look. It's on UFC Fight Pass on Friday. Okay, just scrolling through, looking for televised. Actually, I can put my browser up on there, I suppose. Where do we go? Chrome. There it is. That's what I'm looking at. Close that shit. Open that one. Hopefully that's still up. Yep. Right. So, I've got the wrong one now, have I? No. Yes, I have. Got the wrong one. Schedule. I know I'm on just starting page 2. So here we go. Right, so we got one in Aussie there. Not televised. There's a heavyweight fight on there. Caleb Trelu. Don't know that dude. 2-2. And the A side is Baden Ion. Don't know that dude either. 2-0. Is it televised? No, it's not. Well, no listed media yet. No heavies in there. Not really any names that I know either. Next. Saturday in Spain. Romania. Where's the televised shit, man? Puerto Rico. France. Oh, Tony Yoka. That dude's over. Done. Toasted. Exposed. Germany. These fellas always have heavyweight fights at the top of the card. There's 1, 2. Anybody we know? Not really. No. Come on, where's the televised shizzle, man? We got nothing on this weekend. Azerbaijan. Was it Dick? Was it Dubai? Was in India. Yeah. Come on, where are we? Italy, France, no fucking telecast. For reals? Page 3. Come on, there's got to be something worth watching this weekend. Mexico, 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 Mexico. Holy McJesus. Yeah, it should be Saturday in New Zealand. Who we got? Tinta Smith. Don't know. 0-2. 8 rounds, 2 minutes. It's a pretend fight. There mustn't be anything on in the UK because it usually comes up first. Is that Croatia? Heavyweights. Yeah, the Santos. Is it only in America this week? We're going to have any televised fights? Spain. Oh, here we go. Saturday, UK. Doesn't say who's promoting it. Your call. Your call show. Alright. Light, heavy. No heavyweight. Alright. No telecast either. Nathan Frost, I don't know who any of those dudes are. No heavies, come on. There, we got a televised show. Here we go. Liam Davies. 15-0. 12 rounds. Alec Raffle. Oh, Robles. Right. That is for the IBO World Super Bantamweight title. It's vacant. Nathan Heaney. I heard some guys talking about this fight on the Boxing News podcast. Apparently, this is supposed to be a pretty risky fight for Nathan Heaney, they were saying, but they could be just trying to beef it up. Brad Pauls. I think I've seen him fight once. Nathan Heaney's coming off that spectacular win. So, we'll see how he goes. Pirag O'Leary. Okay. Still got no heavies, man. Oh, there's one. Oh, this is the Joe Joyce fight this weekend. Right. Joe Joyce v. Cash Ali. 4 rounds. Cash Ali will be sleeping. In my opinion. What else is on here that's worth... Oh, Ethan James. It's worth looking at. Not heavyweight, but he's taking on Owen Cooper. 9-0, undefeated. Welterweight. That could be an interesting fight. Brad Strand taking on Dennis McCann. McCann should come up on the win on that one, but I'm not 100% sure. Not televised. We'll come back to some other stuff later on in the week, probably. Drop a video of what's actually happening, but I'm just having a quick nosy while you guys are here. There's got to be a televised show in America somewhere, surely. Nothing there. Saturday. Where's the goddamn media for these? There's one. Well, that's on Sunday in Australia. What's it on? The Zone. Okay. Be worth a look. That'll be on. It will be Sunday here in New Zealand. Connor Wallace. We're in the same part of the world. Jack Gipp. Oh, yeah. I've seen this dude fight. That could be an interesting fight. Got no heavies on there, unfortunately. Hanging out to see my boy Jerome Pampelone fight again. He's been fighting in Australia a bit lately. I think he's at light heavyweight. He's fought at cruiserweight as well, but he's supposed to be a light heavyweight, I think. Yeah, alright, so there ain't much else. Get back over to the chat and see what y'all are up to. Address some of y'all. I've been a bit neglecting this a little bit. Apologies. Oh man, I've dropped the freaking... Close the window with the YouTube up. Hopefully it's still running. Get back to it, come on. There we go. Click on there. Click on go live. And bada boosh. There it is. Come on chat, up you come. Excellent. Stream house, alright. So, Phil Carl Roberts in the house. Stephen also in the house. Good to hear Mark back on the live. Yeah, doesn't do any YouTubing himself anymore, but he pops in now and then when he sees on live. It's good to, he's really knowledgeable, so it's good to have him around sometimes. What else have we got here? Good to hear Mark. Good to hear from you, Mark, indeed. Probably the biggest fight, yeah. Yeah, I reluctantly agree, Phil. William Zepeda v... where we go? Moved. Goddamn. Oh, Phil's got a new comment. He knows his stuff. Talking about Mark, that's for sure. Formerly unrivaled boxing talk. William Zepeda v Maxie Hughes. Oh, is that this weekend? That could be a pretty decent firefight, that one. Williams beats Max Hughes. He will be in position to fight Tank Davis. Yeah, everybody who's in position to fight Tank Davis because they've earned it gets swerved, don't they? Just about inclined to change the name from Tyson Fury as Duck King to Gervonta Davis. That dude fights fucking nobody. I'm disappointed in the attitude he's got. You know, he was Prince Turki Al-Sheikh mentioned him, and he says, "Oh, you have to buy me a couple of Ferraris to even talk about." Like I said in my live, Sheikh should send Tank 2 Ferraris, but those little electric kids ones, he'll fit in them. So that's all you're getting out of me, you disrespectful piece of shit. You sit over there getting your no money. When you fight Isaac Cruz the second time, you're not going to get paid fuck all, Tank Davis. You're not going to get paid squat. You're not a pay-per-view star. Ryan Garcia got you that money, you punk. Spoiled little fucking brat is what he is. What else we got in here? Comments of note. I'm just looking through. What we got? He was landing on Vargas. Way too early for the height difference. Yeah, he needed to chop that body in half, eh? Stop him running so fast for starters. He'll bring his hands down as well, and then he can land his big dirty shots over the top. But he just didn't do that, did Nick Ball. He fought better in the second half, but he's got to figure out a way to get inside and get to that body. I really hope they order a rematch for that fight. I'm on the face. On the fence for Bimbo Beterbiev. Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to pick Beterbiev because he only needs to get to Bivol once and hurt him and then he can finish him, but that's the key, is getting to Bivol. I don't know if he can, man. I don't know. Bivol is a master of ring generalship. Whenever he ends up close to the ropes, he moves around. He keeps moving until he's back into the center ring. He's got everywhere to go from there. So we'll see how Beterbiev gets on trying to cut him off and slay him. But yeah, if it goes the distance, I think Bivol will win it. And I know we keep saying it, but sooner or later, Artur Beterbiev's got to fall off the age cliff. However, he lives such a clean life. You know, he's like a freaking monk, that dude. Eats nothing but clean. If he goes out, it's to the gym. That's, you know, he just lives the life. So he's prolonging his career big time while living so clean. He does some funny Jake Paul as an exhibition, but it might be interesting because shit, Mike's pretty old now. He's in his 50s, isn't he? So well, that would be interesting. But if there's something else on, I'll be watching something else. I'm not hanging out to watch that like a lot of these social media people will be. But yeah, that's what it is. Mike Tyson wants some of those dollars out of VIP promotions, and he's going to get it. Will he get a knockout? I'm not sure. If he can get to and land a flush shot on Jake Paul, even at 55, I still think you knock him spuck the fuck out. You know, and then shit. Yay, Mike Tyson. But hey, if Jake Paul wins, well, they shouldn't really have a result unless there's a knockout, should they? So, I don't know, but if Jake Paul wins, that's what'll happen. Anyways, I'm thinking about maybe trying to do a top 10 video, but I think I've got to wait until the Usyk Fury first fight is out the way, so we can get a gauge on what's going on. But things definitely seem to have sorted themselves out a lot more in the last 8 months with the heavyweight division, where things should be, not fighters just getting fights against low-level opposition because they don't want to take risks. The A side and the money's not good enough to fight the best guys, so they just take easier fights, trying to work their way to a forced title shot. There's going to be shit hit the fan once these undisputed fights happen. If there's going to be a rematch, the IBF is going to be gone. The next one in line after that will be... It'll be the WBO, won't it? Because Pulev was the IBF mandatory. Dubois was the WBA. So the IBF's out of rotation because it gets stripped or vacated, and the WBO's next. Whoever wins the rematch with Parker and Zhang will be next in line. So there's still some sorting to be done. Let's see how it goes. But as of now, we have a huge resurgence from this guy right here. Hey, there, this guy. This guy fights anybody, and he's actually gotten a lot better. So, how far can he go? I'm not sure. I'd lost a lot of belief in Joe Parker prior to the Fayanga or Pulu fight. I saw something different in him, and it turned out to be George Lockhart. I did have my suspicions about this fight too, with Parker only fighting one southpaw and Jason Bergman in his professional career. But I totally forgot that Andy Lee is a southpaw. So he knew exactly how to train Parker for a southpaw. Parker seems to be like a sponge at the moment. He's taking in everything Andy Lee and George Lockhart are doing with him. He trusts them. They trust him to do what they want him to do. It's a great partnership. So Joseph Parker, how far can he go? Let's go there and find out. Let's go. Lupe Soliai, La Aule, Ole Maleatoa, Big Joseph Parker. Could happen yet, eh? Anyways, that's about me for today. I hope y'all have enjoyed the stream. I shall try and get a bit more active now that I've got my PC back. It's much easier for me to make videos with the better software. Laptop. It's the same software I have on the laptop, but it's a newer version and it's way harder to use. And it doesn't have certain features. So I've got it all back. I can do what I want to do now. There's no excuse for me not putting out a few more videos. So fingers crossed I can get my ass into gear and get a few more vids out. So hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget, if you have, to hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and that bell icon for future notifications. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace!
Alright team, that's all we have for you today. Hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and that bell icon for future notifications so you don't miss nothing. Also, get over to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. The invite link is in the description. There's lots of things you can find there, like fight links, boxing chat, prediction leagues, fight streams, and fight parties. So get into it. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. See you!